So in the next session, we'll talk about a topic that we've heard earlier is one of the top things to do. That was the recommendation from two of the panelists, is the automation, and in particular looking at robotic process automation. So we will have a setup this coming 25 minutes. We have an impulse, and then we will have a chat with 3 industry powerhouses, and then 2 of them will share their real-life best practices out of the daily life of a hotel group. So I think this is a perfect setup. And without any further ado, I invite on stage the CEO at Robosize Me, Stephen Burke, to set the scene for the following 25 minutes. Thank you.
All right, cool. Looks like we're hooked up. Thanks for joining us today. What we're going to talk about is hotel automation and artificial intelligence. Some people call it RPA. The new term is digital workers. But what we really want to talk about is how hotels are and will continue to benefit from the combination of AI agents and digital workers. And we're going to get some insights from our special guests from Louvre Hotel Group and Radisso Hotel Group. The people that are going to join us today, besides myself, I'll introduce them in a minute. It's the CIO of Louvre Hotel, Radisso, and Pierre-Baptiste Lechamp who's Director of Distribution Tech for Radisso. And let's see if I can get the little video to work. And the video is not working, so we'll move on to the real-life examples of hospitality automation. So in this particular case, we're going to talk about the use of digital workers to basically replace human workers for some kind of manual and repetitive task. In this case, it's with Louvre Hotel Group. We have more than 1,500 hotels to deal with in the CRS, and we have to manage rate codes, which is a common use case for many hotel groups. It's automatic creation and maintenance of these rate codes at scale. And this particular digital worker is actually doing 75 human days per month of work on the CRS. So it's a significant time saver, and it's also allowing Louvre Hotel to benefit from a faster reaction to changing market conditions and overall improve the distribution performance. Radisso Hotel Group are using sponsored ads for the OTAs. And what this is doing is using a digital worker to dynamically adjust sponsored ads, the duration, the details, and provide, again, faster responses to changing market conditions. Louvre Hotel is also doing something with payment voucher reconciliation. So payment voucher in this case are the ticket restaurants, the Edenreds, the Sodexo, the Bimpli. At scale, these are complicated to reconcile because of the number of transactions that are batched into the bank transfer, and it becomes a nightmare for the finance department to unpack these. So what we do is use a digital worker to plow through this every month, figure out what's been paid, what's not been paid, where the differences are, so the finance team can go and directly engage with the partner and solve any particular issues. At Radisso Hotels, we're working on the CRO in this case, the call center actually, and doing guest booking cancellation. So taking this off the hands of the call center workers, out of the human's hands, and putting it into the digital worker hand. And basically we're able to go and look into the IVR, into the voice, and into emails, detect a cancellation, and go ahead and execute that cancellation automatically without having to bother a human. So faster response time and a faster recycling of that inventory back into a sellable form. And the last one that we'll talk about today, we had heard from Mike at Citizen M talking about PMS migration. Also able to use automation to do support system migration at scale for, in this case, Louvre Hotel Group, and basically go through and archive important data out of 800 property management systems and store that data in a format that can be retrieved later and prepare the organization for moving from the legacy environment to the cloud environment. So I'd like to introduce Radisso. Chief Information Officer of Louvre Hotel Group. Thanks for joining us, Mehdi. And Pierre-Baptiste Lechamp from Radisson Hotel Group, Senior Director of Revenue Technology. And now the grilling begins. So we'll direct this question first to Mehdi. How did you identify the potential of the technology and decide on what business cases would become the first proof of concepts?
Hello. Okay, sorry. Hello, everybody. So Mehdi Souhan from Louvre Hotel. So for years at the IT, we say that IT people are lazy. So, and this is true. And this is why we are looking always for finding solution to don't do the job. So for the robotization, it exists for years, and it was for testing system. And then it evolved to automate business process. The problem that I wanted to do that for years at Louvre, but when we work with generic companies, they don't understand the language of hospitality. So we need to pay them in order to find the use case, to explain what is a PMS, to explain what is a rate code. So it was a loss of time and of money. And then I discovered Robosize Me, and the guys are already in the hospitality world, so we win all this time. And we can go directly to some use cases that we are feeling it every day, because at Louvre what we are trying to do is to automate everything, to avoid having human interaction where it's not necessary to have it. So making data entry or copy-paste, we can avoid that by doing injecting data in the database or by using APA. But not all the solution allow us to do that. So this is where the robotization arrive, and it can help us to do the setup, as he was talking about, setting the rates, setting the room types. So the data comes directly from the hotelier, and through different step of validation, it's go, and it is populating directly the different systems.
Thanks, Mehdi. I'm going to ask the same question to PB about at Radisson.
Sure, sure. So for us, it was, of course, very important to find efficiencies into the process. When we think about the advertisement on the OTAs, we also wanted to a bit break the habits of the hotels that used to spend, because they simply used to spend on the OTAs. Oh, now it comes this month, I'm in low season, I'm just going to invest, because I used to do it for years, I can tick the box, and then I will just sit and wait that the business comes in. And we wanted to break a bit that habits in making sure that thanks to the automation, we could also bring data-driven decisions into the process. So of course, the first point was to free up time to the revenue managers to focus on strategic decisions, but then on the top, it was also to make sure that we could check the return of this action afterwards on the different channels. So it was not just about, I put that budget, and then I will just hope that the pickup will come in. No, we wanted to make sure, thanks to this technology, that I have now the right visibility I wanted to reach. Am I really now in the place I wanted to be? And for a human being, it was impossible to monitor that on a daily basis for every single stay date. And this is why we wanted the automation to do that, to make sure that, yes, now we have the visibility that we want, it makes sense, I'm happy to do that, and I know where today my budget is going to. So with this in mind, it was obvious to use the automation, and I think today we wouldn't go back in the company.
Thank you. Great insights. Mehdi, how did you get the buy-in from the internal stakeholders when you wanted to do this?
It was easy and difficult at the same time. When I introduced this concept to my business partner, they were shocked that something like that exists and no one talked about it, okay? So when we show that we can do and optimize all the processes, so it was good because it was auto-financed, as it's replacing a lot of job that people are doing, and it's not a good job for the people, so it's no high value. So this is where, when we talk with the business partner, one is money, then optimizing process, and third, we need to think to the people. We are not here replacing the job of the people. We are here to change it and to make it more valuable. So when we start, so this is how we convinced the business partner. after that, the first day that we wanted to put it live, the robot, my business partner make a nightmare. And he was seeing a Pac-Man eating the setup in the CRS. He saw that the robot wanted to do that. So when he saw that he was a good robot and he's only doing the job during the night, so it was only a nightmare, and that was okay. But yeah, there is some psychological limit on that.
That's a good one. PB, so sometimes we think of the stakeholders as only the higher-ups, but the stakeholders are actually the other people on your team that are working day to day and managing the stuff with the distribution partners and so on. How do you get their buy-in? How do you quell their fears about having a digital colleague?
Once you have the right business case, it's easier, obviously, to convince people, right? So if we take the example of the contact center today, where we have a bot able to access the mailbox, read the emails, and being able, thanks to some keywords such as cancellation, amendment, modification, already take the action to go into the PMS, read the cancellation policy, and apply the changes automatically, and you can afterwards count the number of hours that a human being would have spent to do that. This is an easy business case afterwards to defend, right? So you can save hours, sometimes even days, of pinpointing between the emails and your PMS. So once you have the right business case, obviously it's easier. And then same thing for the advertising management of the OTAs. When you can show and prove the return afterwards that you have on your advertising, you can get a higher return than if you were doing manually, because this is data-driven. Then this is another proof. And then, of course, afterwards, it's easier to expand across your different hotels and get the buy-in from owners and GMs.
And Mehdi, when you looked at going from department to department, where you're taking your success from one business department and moving to the next, what were some of the things that were key in proving the value across the departments and getting additional budget to apply to the new automations?
Is that it's succeeding, that we win time, win money, because it's, again, when I'm looking for a new budget, I'm not looking for a new budget. I'm refinancing the project by an existing budget. So this is where you can quickly convince the other business partner. And you can see when we talk about the voucher reconciliation, it's really hundreds of hours of time on the financial department, and who understand more than the finance, the price of one man days. So it's as simple as that.
Okay, great. And PB, at Radisson, you've got deployments of automations across different departments. It's not just revenue, but you're also working in the CRO and other departments. What is the oversight that's done from the management level, and how are they checking to make sure that the goals are being achieved?
We actually come and at the end of the day always trying to bring more and more efficiency, try to make those processes better, and this is also how we can show them how these automations today are working, and we can also afterwards show them that yes, you see, this is how many time we've been able to save, this is incremental revenue that we have been able to achieve, and with that obviously we can show them also how these automations are doing, and then you can bring more ideas, because you can say, hey, we use already this automation for that and that aspect, maybe we can also try to have it for operations, maybe we can have it for upselling, we can have it for other parts of revenue management. So it's all about having the first buy-in. Obviously, you can show that it's working, that afterwards it becomes easier to sell it to your management.
Okay, that's a very...
And just to complete by priority, you will be not the first guy that I want to call when I want to automate something. As the previous talk was about IPE first, this is what we are looking for. But as we said, all the systems are not API first, so we cannot do it. And this is when I call the robotization.
And PB, at Radisson, your system architect was talking about the intersection of digital workers and AI, right? He was basically saying that the AI is the one that's the brain, and then the digital workers are the hands, right? So you need both of them to work. Where do you see the intersection of AI and automation going, and where do you think is the greatest opportunity for hoteliers?
For me, in the future, it needs to be a match, a perfect match, right? So It doesn't have to be immediately both together at the same time, because you might lose yourself, obviously. I think it's important first to have the right process to be able to do an automation, to already show the value of the automation, and then being able to bring artificial intelligence into it. See how you can further fine-tune a process will be obviously very important. And in all the different aspects, it can be in operations, it can be in upselling, it can be in finance, in many different aspects. But I think this is a step-by-step, but both needs to be combined at some point to be able to, as we said also earlier, as I heard on other panels, the personalization also becomes very important thanks to the AI. You can already today in the contact center, for example, analyze what emails needs to be replied on. But if you don't add the personalization touch that you can have with the AI, it becomes very generic, and that's not really the service that we want to bring, right? So, but first we need to make sure the process is there, and then we can add the AI to really make sure that the service is also there.
And Mehdi, the same question for you. Where do you see the greatest opportunity of the intersection of AI and automation?
For me today, the robots are stupid, as we said just before, so they are executing a list of tasks. The AI will improve that because the robot don't take decisions today. So tomorrow the mix between robotization and AI is to create intelligent agent where we will have the AI who will interpret what the customer, it could be an internal customer or an external one, what he's asking for, and then we have a batch of robots that will execute the different tasks. So it's a combination of the both of these two technologies that will be a game changer.
Thank you. We have 2 minutes left, and we have one last question. So we have a minute for each of you here. And this is the current topic, let's say. So last week we had a lot of news about this new AI hotel in Las Vegas, autonomous, probably half of the audience or more has all heard of it, right? It's all over the news. Do you see this as the future, or do you see this as more of an extreme example like 4 years ago when there was the Japanese hotel with the physical robots at check-in? Mehdi?
As a tech guy, maybe I will surprise you by but I want to say, I think our role on the IT is to put back the human in the center of the relationship with the guest, okay? So the people, our customers, are spending all the day on their computer, on their phone. They go to the post office or to the airport, they are they are interacting with machines. So at one moment in the hospitality, our job is to put back this humanity in the relation. So I'm not against the technology. I'm saying that AI, robotization, it's really amazing technology, but we need to use them to free the hotelier from the back office task and to put it back in the front office where this is where is his role to recreate the relation with the guest. So yeah, it's one type of hotel. They are maybe for some kind of people, but not for all of us who are, so this is.
Thanks, Mehdi. And PB, you got 30 seconds.
I agree with Mehdi. I don't think we need to completely remove the human interaction, because this is also what people today are looking for when they go for the hotel, right? This is service. And if you replace completely everything, as in this hotel in Vegas, I don't think people today are ready to do that anyway, right? But I think it's important that we have this combination to be able to work together to enhance the guest journey from the booking stage until the checkout, and even after the checkout to make the experience even better afterwards, right? But it's just about finding the right combination between AI and human interaction. Still, I think this is very valuable.
Pierre-Baptiste Lechamp from Radisson Hotel Group and Mehdi Soa from Louvre Hotel Group. I'm Stephen Burke from RoboSeisme. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you so much. Yes.